Yo, it's your boy Wes the Tech here to bring you another one of my personal favorite tech tips to help you as an artist growing your craft. Now, today we're going to be answering the question, can you collect royalties from AI generated music? All right. So if you're a recording artist who wants to know if you could actually collect royalties or not when it comes to AI generated music, then this is the perfect video for you, because in this video, I'm going to detail out everything that you need to know about AI music when it comes to actually collecting royalties. All right. Now, before I continue, I definitely want to let you guys know about my free music business checklist tool that's available to download off of my website right now. This is for any one of you guys who's looking into starting your own music business but don't quite know where to start. With this free tool, you actually be able to identify 3 things that you could do right away to start your own music business. So if you want to grab this free tool today, you could click on the link above. I'll also leave a link in the descriptions below. All right. Now, when it comes to AI music and the collecting royalties on them, I think the first question that I should ask is, how is AI music actually created? All right. Well, there are a few different websites, a few different platforms right now that allows you to actually create AI music. And how that AI music is actually created is by you entering in a specific prompt, an ideal for a song or a concept, and the AI in the system actually generates a song with what you prompted into the system. Now, how they are actually able to do that is because the system has been learning from actual artists. It's actually been learning from every artist that's out right now, every artist that's ever been out, and it's learning from them, and it's creating a AI system that is like almost a regurgitation of what real artists are doing, which is why AI music sounds so modern, sounds so familiar to whatever prompt you put in it. So if you say you want a West Coast type song, it's literally going to regurgitate the West Coast sound from the actual artist vocals, as well as the instrumentation and stuff like that. Now, with that being said, that's why we are actually in a big, lawsuit right now, or at least a feud between these AI companies and the big three. The big three, as far as the big three major record labels, Sony, Universal, and Warner. Right now, they're at odds, and they're in the middle of a whole sue because they want to really try to figure out if this is something that should be accepted or if it's right, because they are taken from actual artists to be able to create these AI systems in order to give out the input that is giving out. So the reason I wanted to go over that particular lawsuit, because it actually plays a big role in how royalties will be collected in the future. All right. But to jump into all the different streaming platforms and the different ways that you could actually collect royalties in music, I want to really identify where you can get paid through AI music and where you can't. Because when it comes to music, there's a lot of different revenue avenues. It's not just, hey, you make music and you get paid for it. There's a lot of different types of royalties that you could collect out there as an artist. And we need to know exactly how AI music registers or relates to those different royalty platforms. All right. So the first royalty that I'm going to go over is the most common, the easiest one to understand, and that's streaming royalties. All right. Streaming royalties is the royalties that you get from your music streaming platform, from your music distribution company. Right. So whoever you distribute your music through, whether it's DistroKid, whether it's a CD Baby, TuneCore, United Masters, whatever your actual music distribution company is, they're the ones who will actually collect your streaming royalties. Now, when it comes to AI generated music, when you obviously distribute your music through them, you can actually, as of right now, collect streaming royalties from fully AI generated music. All right. Meaning that if you just prompt something into one of those AI music apps, they give you a song, you can upload that song and get it on Spotify right now without any issues for the most part. Right. The royalties that you collect from your distribution companies, you can actually collect that. But there is a caveat to that. And the reason I say that is because all of the distribution companies now are requiring you to answer specific questions about the song that you're uploading. They're asking you if the AI song is fully AI generated, if it's partially generated, or if there's no AI usage in the song at all right? Now, the difference between partial AI and full AI is partial AI means that there's still some type of human interaction. For example, if you're actually using your vocals, right, or you're doing some of the instrumentation yourself and AI is assisting, you're using AI as a tool, and maybe you have the AI doing some of the other instruments or doing parts of the song, right? Like you're actually working with the AI. You're doing some of your stuff. The AI is doing some other things, and you guys are putting it together. That's a partial AI song. A fully AI generated song is a song where you literally just typed in what type of song you want, and it gives you an output, and you try to upload that. That's fully AI generated. There's no human aspect to that at all. The partial means that, the human got involved. The human isn't, the artist is involved, or the composer is involved, the producer is involved, right? You have to actually state the difference in that, or if there's no AI usage at all. The reason that I feel like all the distribution companies are asking this question now when it comes to your uploads is because they are preparing themselves for what happens next, right? Because of this lawsuit that's going on that I mentioned before, and because of everything that's going on with AI music, we're kind of in uncharted territories, and these distribution companies want to basically protect themselves in case this goes left, right? So they want everybody to start admitting what type of impact does AI play in the music that you're releasing, right? So that could be a good thing for the future. That could be a bad thing for the future. We don't know. But that's why I say for now, you can get royalties from streaming, right? But I don't know if that's going to still be the case in the future, right? Now, let's go on to the other types of royalties, because streaming royalties isn't the only royalties that you could collect as an artist. The next big type of royalty that you can collect as an artist is your performance rights royalties, or your performing royalties. When it comes to performing royalties, right, you absolutely cannot collect using fully AI generated music, right? So if you are using AI generated music, you will not be able to collect performance royalties from that. The reason for that is because performance royalties specifically has to come from a human. It has to be, the songwriter and the publisher. It specifically states that it's only for human compositions, right? Meaning that a fully AI generated song cannot be put into performance. You're not performing anything, right? However, there is a kind of wiggle room in that area, because if it's partially AI generated, aka if you did write the song, right, or you performed the song and wrote the song, but the AI did the rest, that is something that you absolutely can register under performing rights, right? So if it's partial usage, you can register. If it's fully AI generated, you cannot, which means that for fully AI generated music, you cannot collect royalties when it comes to performance royalties. Now, with that being said, obviously, different performing rights organizations are out there. When you're talking about the US, you're talking about really BMI and ASCAP, right? As of right now, BMI and ASCAP, they will allow partial. They will not allow full, right? Every country is different when it comes to that. But for the US, that's what it is right now. And they are very strict about this. Now, because BMI and ASCAP not only collects performance royalties, this also affects the other type of royalties that they collect as well, which is the sync royalties, right? When you're doing sync licensing, that's another type of royalty you could collect. Fully AI generated music, you cannot collect royalties when it comes to sync royalties at all. The same as performance, because it's collected from the same exact people. I hope that makes sense. Because BMI and ASCAP collects for sync and they collects for performances, and they already don't accept it for performances, they're not going to accept it for sync as well. All right, so that's a no when it comes to sync royalties. It's also a no when it comes to digital performance royalties. All right, you cannot collect royalties when it comes to fully AI generated music, when it comes to digital performances. Why? Because when it comes to digital performances, your music actually has to be copyrighted. Now, I'm gonna pause right there, because I kind of have to take a tangent when it comes to copyrights to kind of explain this to you guys. When it comes to actually copywriting a song, there are two elements that are at play. You have the author and the composer when it comes to actually copywriting a song. Now, from copyright laws, an author has to be a human. A composer has to also be a human, right? So, by the very definition of what an author and a composer is, you actually cannot copyright AI generated music. Fully AI generated music cannot be copywritten. This is very, very important for you guys to know, because what that means is you cannot protect your fully AI generated music. Meaning, if you release a fully generated AI generated song, right? And somebody decides to download the song and re-release it, right? They can't get in trouble for it, and you cannot sue them for it. Why? Because you cannot own it. You cannot create a copyright over it because it's a fully AI generated song. I'm going to say that again. If you have a fully AI generated song, it is not protected by copyright laws. People can just take it from you, re-upload it, redistribute it, and resell it without your approval, and they will not get in trouble for it because it's not copyrightable, if that makes sense. All right, so that's another big thing that you guys may want to consider if you want to start releasing fully AI generated music. All right, but with that being said, because you cannot copyright AI generated music, that also cancels out a bunch of other royalties that you can get, which does include digital performance royalties. That's out the window. Mechanical royalties is also out the window because both of those requires you to have a copyrighted song. You can only collect from those if your song is copyrighted, and since you can't copyright a fully AI generated music, those are off the list as well. So really and truly, when you're looking at all the different royalties, all the different types of royalties that you could collect as an artist, the only one that you could actually collect royalties from as of right now, when it comes to fully AI generated music, is streaming royalties. Now, do streaming royalties make up the bulk of royalties that collect from music? No, it does not. Right? It's nowhere near where you get the most money when it comes to your royalties, right? But it is something. So that's why a lot of people are trying to release AI generated music, because obviously there is a profit that can be made from it. However, do I believe that it's going to be this way forever? No, especially because the only place that you can actually collect royalties from right now is streaming royalties. And I've already mentioned earlier how distribution companies are already asking you if it's fully generated or if it's partially generated, which means that there's something that's coming down the pike. And ultimately, I think what's going to happen is that streaming royalties, fully AI generated music, you won't be able to collect any of the traditional royalties from it. I believe that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. Now, I do believe that they may have a new type of royalty, maybe a royalty specifically dedicated to AI generated music specifically, right? But when it comes to all the conventional types of royalties, I believe once this is all said and done, you will not be able to collect from it using fully AI generated music, because when it comes to music, all of these organizations, all the parties that are involved, they really want to protect that human art, the human art of creating music, right? The same way they want to protect all the other human arts when it comes to paintings and so on and so forth. You can't copyright a painting that was generated by a computer. You can do it if you did it yourself, if a human did it, an actual artist or author, like I mentioned before. But if it's fully AI generated, it's currently not protected. All right, so these are all the things that you gotta definitely consider when it comes to fully AI generated music. All right, even when it comes to partially AI generated music, right? That's obviously not in the same realm, right? Like fully AI generated and the traditional way of doing music is black and white. There's no comparison. It's all computers versus all humans, right? That in between, that partial, that's where it's going to be, the gray area, the very area, because it's like Some people are only using AI as a tool. You know, let's say you're creating a beat and you want a saxophone and you don't know exactly how to do it, and you get AI assistance with that and it comes up with it for you. Maybe you already got the lyrics, you already got the beat, but you don't know how to do the flow. Maybe you use AI for that, right? AI can be used as a tool right now, and I believe that's the best aspect of AI. And when it comes to music, is that you can use it as a tool to help you do things, but to use it to replace you in its entirety, that's what I believe most, industries are trying to protect humans from, right? They don't want AI to replace humans. They just want humans to be able to work together with AI. All right. So with all that being said, I hope this answers your question. Ultimately, out of all the royalties that you could collect from, for most of them, it's a no. The only one that you can actually collect royalties from is streaming royalties, and that may not last much longer anyway. All right. But that's where we at right now, and I hope that answers the question. Now, before I let you guys go, I definitely want to let you guys know about my book here, The 13 Steps to Jumpstart Your Music Business. This is for any one of you guys who's simply tired of working your 9-to-5 job and you want to do music full-time like myself. I've been doing music full-time for over a decade now, and I want the same exact thing for every single person who watches my channel. So if you want to know how to get out of that job and do music full-time, start your own music business, go ahead and grab that book. I have an ebook form where you could download and start reading it right now, and I have physical copies. All right. But of course, if you guys got any questions, additional questions about this, please go ahead and leave comments in the comment section below. Obviously, if you have any questions about anything else music industry related, go ahead and throw that in the comment section as well, because I like to help you guys out as independent artists. All right. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this answered your question when it comes to royalties and AI generated music, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Giants in my path, but my sling still swinging. Prayers like a choir, you can hear the angels singing. Armor of God, ain't a single piece missing. Romans 8:31, who against me they sinking. Enemies plot, but the plans unravel. Scriptures in my holster, that's the only way I travel. Devil want to smoke, but I'm up, no gravel. If I'm going through a valley, no shadow, can't battle. Tell the storm peace, and the waves obey. Faith ain't a trend, it's the roots where I stay. Christ built different every sin.